Okay, and welcome to round 4 of the Concertmood Hyper Ferrari Challenge. Today we are at Blue Moon Speedway Infield A layout, and we have two classes of cars, Pro and Am.
Okay.
Of course, we expect them both to be all mixed up during the race as normal, which is half of the fun. And joining me with our main sponsor today, we have Antonio from Concertmood, and as always, Marco. How are you
We
guys
are main
doing?
sponsor today. So today we are going to do an endurance race. 60 minutes of pain on the Blue Bay Moon A. Always with our lovely and super drivable. Nothing because the lobby crashed. So
Yeah, I just got kicked out.
I
Okay.
still think it would be better for us just buy a bunch of Ferraris and just race.
It
Would
might
make
be
more
cheaper.
sense. It might be cheaper, yeah, for my sanity more than anything else. And I really care about my sanity. It's one of the little things that I like.
It might have just been a mistake. Bacon might have closed the lobby instead of
Classic bag in the lobby.
doing it. I'm not sure, but
If you did
I'll
that,
keep an eye
I'm
on
gonna
that
just
for
having this
the lobby.
ad on a plate. So now we gave us like
Some
this
time
is
to
a little
kill.
bit of hair right now. Yeah, this is like a little botch, like they do in
We planned
the
this.
wrestling business. And so we can talk a little bit about the Concertmood podcast, right? And you guys can listen to it while we wait for the race to start. Probably, maybe, mostly.
You guys aren't live
So,
yet, right?
like, the first question I want to ask you, Tony,
Yes.
is what created like the wanting to talk about music to people, like, and to talk about anecdotes about music, not just like I like this song, it's pretty good, or
Yeah,
I don't
like
like this song.
what made you want to go a bit more in depth than just saying, "Here's a good song, listen to it."
Cool. So first of all, thank you guys for having me. I'm very happy to be here with you. And first, good luck in the race. And looking forward to continue being the sponsor with you guys. So basically, I started this journey because music has been my passion since I was a little kid. I remember when I was at elementary school, and I was still going there with Walkman, still with cassettes, and listening to rock music that one of my uncles used to record for me. So
Amazing.
I had always I had always a breakthrough with music since I was a kid, very young, and I started to learn a lot about the lyrics, and I started to get really into deep. And basically, music has been with me all my life. So I feel that I kind of developed a certain passion to it, like it's very attached to myself. And basically, I listen to music all day long. So then I said, I could start something on my own to share that passion with the world. And it's just like I just go really into deep with the lyrics, into the sounds, and it's just like has been with me all the time. So I just decided to share my passion with the world because I feel that I live it on a very unique way. So I started with this passion since I was a kid. But basically, I just was one day on my couch and then said, like, you know what? F the world. I'm just going to do my blog. This started as a blog, then mutated as a podcast because of the quarantine. But I just said, you know what? I want to share my passion with the world and hopefully meet some artists in the short or long term. That would be amazing. That's how it started, basically.
And it's clear that your music taste isn't just one type of music. Like, you do episodes on everything. The number of stuff that we see pop up, I'm always amazed to see the different variety. Was that always something that you had? Was it always like a love of music overall, or was that something that came
Alex,
later?
sorry to interrupt.
No worries.
Can you please try to enter in Vegas lobby?
Bacon doesn't have a lobby. John
Like I said
has a
before,
lobby.
sorry to interrupt. But yeah, I'm gonna finish the question because we share the same brain. So like,
No,
it's like,
go ahead.
no, nothing. I was just like creating a puzzle in my head that I couldn't finish. So you saved
No,
me.
I'll try to help you to finish it. That's a very good question because I remember when I was in high school, the music that I was listening to it was just rock music and alternative music. I didn't listen in like pop music or another genre. I was just really into metal, hard rock, thrash metal, alternative rock. But then as I continued to learn and to get more into music, I think I started to appreciate as well other types of genre. Because for me has been interesting has this kind of fight that, for example, in the past rockers used to have like, no, I do not listen other music than rock. Pop is for people that doesn't understand music, for example, just to throw something out there. But I remember there was a video that I watched that there were some interviews to rock stars, like, hey, what's kind of your guilty pleasure or your music that you listen outside of rock? So you could hear rockers saying like, oh, I used to listen to Justin Bieber because of my daughters or stuff like that. So
Yeah.
then that kind of started to get into me. And I think as I start growing up, and I was thinking, hey, we can live in the world together and appreciate not just rock music. So that's why I started to listen to a little bit more diverse genre because all the music has different stuff to offer and good stuff to offer. So I started to, let's say, expand my horizons, and I'm happy I did it because I have found really cool stuff that as well I'm sharing on the podcast as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of people who like music, they start with that kind of feeling of, hey, this is the type of music I like, and then they kind of expand a little bit, and then a little bit more, and then I think as you get older, especially, you get a much better appreciation for a lot of different types, and you get these different influences, like you said, like I listen to this because of my daughter, or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's a really interesting way to look at music in terms of just the love of music as opposed to being into one type of thing.
Totally. And I feel that when you start to identify with one specific style or music genre, you feel that it's something that it kind of belongs to you and you belong to the genre. And maybe it's because we're in this journey that we are starting to identify ourselves as humans, as what we like, what we would like to do, and stuff like that. That's why I'm connecting with what you said, because for me it's important too. As long as we are getting older and we are getting more mature, we are starting to experience more in life, and that's why I think we expand our horizons and we start to appreciate more not only music but other stuffs in life. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting how I expanded my horizons because, for example, I have an episode in the podcast about a song that I really like from Taylor Swift, but I feel it's very well written. It tells a really good story, and of course, I believe that she's very pretty, so that's why as well I like her.
And I think even with her music, because she started off in such a different way to the music that she makes now, that's a good point that certain people will you can see the artists themselves evolve, and so it makes sense that people who like
Totally.
music as the listener would also evolve.
Totally, and I think she's a very good example, at least in my musical taste, because when she was doing country, I said, oh, it sounds cool, but I was in my rock stuff. But then when she started to turn more into pop music, the sounds are very catchy. And then
Yeah.
personally, I feel that she's very pretty. So then I started to listen more to her and so on. Then like the catchy pop songs really get into me. But then when she released these two last records during quarantine, Evermore and Folklore, the change that she did from being the country or the pop artist going more into indie or alternative, because indie and alternative are kind of a genre that I really liked. So that's when I really get me, and I really enjoy those records. And again, she expanded her horizons and myself. So yeah, I think as long as we are getting older, we start to appreciate more stuff in life.
Yeah, and I hope you continue with the podcast to keep going in all of these different directions, so that because I think people will find new music through your podcast as well, and that's definitely something that I presume that you want for people who listen as well, to not only hear your thoughts on songs that they already like, but your thoughts on why they should like different types of stuff.
Totally. And that's why that's why I named the project and the brand Concertmood, because for me, we can attend a concert of every music style. That's why I wanted to keep this broadness to the blog, to the podcast. And definitely that's why I have a section there that is called Discover Music, that I try to get up to speed with whatever new music is being outside. And now with the streaming, we have music at the touch of our phones. With Spotify, with Apple Music, and with social media, there's a lot of power now with the internet that the artists and the new artists can share their music that was not in the past. So definitely I'm trying to be up to date in what's going on in the world in music, and anything that I found that is cool to share, I will continue sharing, and definitely I will do it in the several music genres that Concertmood has in the podcast. So yes, definitely I will keep doing that. And it seems that you guys like that, so I'll keep doing it.
Expecting really soon the good old episode on the 70s Italian music.
There you go.
So I think I really like about the podcast, it's not that just you talk about a song, but it's just like you start from the song and you tell a story. Like I remember the episode with the Metallica for the album, right? It was the 20 years.
Yes, 35th anniversary of Master of Puppets. Yeah.
25th. Yeah, I did my research badly, but I did my research.
No, 35th. There you go.
Yeah, so that was good because like I'm not a great listener of music, I have to be honest. Like I listen to music because I like it. I just don't go into it and find a genre for me. So I just listen to a little bit of everything, and listen to the 12 minutes of podcast, because it's just really like more like clips than a podcast, I would say, because it's like a one-man band, and it's like it's easy to listen, to understand, and it doesn't take you so much time. Not good if you use podcasts while you work out or something, but good if you just want to listen to something real quick. And returning to the story, it's like I went there and I listened to the album, and I found out that I like it.
Cool.
So like it's an incentive, right, to listen to other, to exit from the comfort zone of music, right?
Yes.
And just test and try other things. And that's a really good thing for me. Like, do you want to give this impression with the episodes, or just like that's a cool anecdote, you might like it or not? but that's it.
No, that's a very good question as well. I mean, because music for me is very personal. That's why I try to do in the episode, to share experiences that I have had or anecdotes that I have had with the band, with a concert that I have attended, with a song that I listen to it, and not just talk about the song that, oh, it's a cool song, listen to it. Because as music has been part of my life, and I really, really feel it really deep into my heart and feelings, has a lot of attachment to me. So yes, that's the anecdotes that I want to share with the people. Like, hey, this song means this to me because of this. So probably when you listen to this, you could go and listen to a record, and probably another song has a different meaning to you because it remembers you something. But I always like to try the episodes short, and I think it's a good comment when you say that it's kind of more of a clips, because right now with where the podcast exploded, like we have episodes of 1 hour, and I don't think that all the people has 1 hour to listen it straight. So I'm trying to keep it short and with these anecdotes from my point of view, so can be enjoyable for the people outside.
Yeah, I think
So,
there's been
yes.
a real benefit to it because so many podcasts are really, really long now that you're actually standing
Too
out by
long.
making a shorter podcast. People are like, oh, this is only a few minutes. Yeah, I can totally listen to this. And they're more
is-
likely to listen to more episodes. Like, it's like when you're like, oh, I don't have time to watch a movie, but I will watch 10 episodes of this TV show, and then you end up watching for 6 hours.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, you ended up binge watching, right?
Yeah.
Because of the
Basically-
short episodes.
Basically, Concertmood is basically the vodka shot of the podcast. You just have a quick one, and then you end up yourself finishing a bottle. That's the.
No,
So-
that works.
Antonio, do you
Not
have
for
a
your liver,
favorite
but that
episode
works.
of Concert Mood? Like, if you were to recommend an episode for people to start with, what would you go with?
Very good question. It's hard because I feel that
I mean, every episode is like your baby, right?
exactly. I was going to say the exact same thing. I just steal it from me. Nice.
Too slow. You never had me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, I believe that one of the episodes that I enjoyed the most was episode 16, if my memory serves, which is when Gorillaz, the debut album, turned 20 years. And the reason, because it's one of my favorites, let's call it that way, so the other ones I don't feel that I just left it out. It's because for me, Gorillaz is a band that really transformed music in the way that they were mixing virtual and they were mixing the music. Right now we are in a digital world, so in that kind of breakthrough that the internet had and how now we are looking 20 years after, I think they were such a visionary. Damon Albarn, which is the mastermind in the artistry there, which is the lead singer of the band Blur. I knew him because of Blur, and Blur was one of my favorite bands, still is of all time. But in that specific episode, I share an experience where I said, you know, what the hell? I'm done with work. I just need to have a peace of mind this weekend. I'm going to see who is playing. So then I found out that Gorillaz was playing in Kansas City. I was in Detroit that time. So then I just booked my flight. I just bought the ticket, and I just said, what the hell? I just need to go, and you only live once. So that kind of stuff I do for music. Like, I'm so passionate that like, for example, I have been in music festivals camping on my own in Germany, for example. And people there, they tell me, dude, are you really coming to the festival? Just you? And I'm like, yeah. But I ended up making friends and having fun there. So I do this type of things. So for me, sharing in that episode from Gorillaz, like, you know, what the hell? I just need to go and leave it. It was such amazing for me. So that episode has one of my favorite bands and a really cool anecdote that I had the chance to experience. So I would recommend you guys to listen to it. That would be one of my favorites, I would say.
Like, this time you stole my question, because I was like, the Gorillaz episode was one of my favorite because it's a band that I really listen to, and it's
Cool.
the first time I was listening to an episode about a band I don't know. So
Nice.
another thing, like, now there's all this story about the vinyl music sounding better than MP3 music, right? And all of that thing about the past generation just keeping with that music. That's pretty amazing. Like, I grew up listening to The Clash, and
Oh, nice.
even to even to the social club, Cuban music, Barry White. I listened to everything growing up.
Yeah.
So, but now I found out myself more into the like 90s, mid 2000 rap, Italian underground scene. So like every state have their own music, right? The national music and this stuff. So, what do you think that now there's more a problem of the new generation not appreciating enough the whole music, or the old generation not appreciating enough the good music? Those little cool things that the new music like take to the game, little adjustment on how the music, how it's evolving, because the evolution thing is always a thing that makes me going. I really enjoy the evolution of things in general.
Yes.
So even music is one of those. Like, I would just like to hear you that you know a lot more than me about this. So, like, what do you think about it?
Let me think about it, because I think this can go through a lot of aspects, but I would believe the following. I think that today we are overwhelmed with a lot of music, and not just music, a lot of information. As I was just saying, you can just go to Spotify and see a lot of new music and a lot of stuff. So because we are overwhelmed with a lot of music, I think now it's getting more difficult to try to get more into deep and to identify what you like. So for older generations, I feel that it's an issue for them, because they might feel a little bit overwhelmed of the new music and the new sounds, because there's a lot of it now surrounding. While in the past, it was more difficult to get through this, because it was just by radio, or was just because of the CDs or the LPs or the touring cities that they were doing. So I think this is the first topic, I would say. That's why there's this clash between what older the generations thinks about new music. And new generations, like, for example, they are used to just to listen 5 seconds, for example, of something, and if they don't like it, they just swipe it around and go through the new stuff. So it's very difficult as well for new artists, because they just have this little amount of time just to make an impression.
Yeah, the one shot, basically.
It's the 5-10 seconds or that one shot, because if you don't make an impression, and not just in music, for a lot of videos like the YouTubers and stuff like that, or social media posts, if you don't make an impression in the first seconds, then the upcoming or another post come in. So I think as well, older generations are a little bit more thinking of what they used to listen is with better quality. I think that's another topic. And I think it's going to be this clash, because sometimes I remember when I was debating this topic with one of my family members, that he was one of the ones that introduced me a lot to music. When I was like 13 years old and he was on the 40s, like, he was reluctant to listen to new music, because he thought that the music that he used to listen was the best. And then I kind of made a promise to myself that day. I said, like, no, I will need to try to be up to date all the time, because cool stuff might be coming every time, every year. So yeah, for me, it's then trying to summarize the topics of, we are now overwhelmed with information, and probably older generations think that they used to hear had a better quality.
Yeah, I mean, that's the same thing. Like, you just mirrored the conversation that I had with my father. Like, he's a great rock lover, Prince of Revival and everything you can listen to. So like, but every time that he exits out of his comfort zone, it's like, I don't like it.
Exactly, the comfort zone.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
They're just talking. There's no musicality to it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I mean, like everything, even the musicality for me evolved into like a more. I wouldn't know to say that, because like it's an argument. It's not that we're talking about easy things. Like I think like it's more like into the music. It's not like outside and you listen to the piano or the guitarist doing the solo. It's now more into the beats and all this kind of other stuff with a lot of music that I listen to. So I'm talking about personal experience. I will never try to make objectively right anything I'm saying. I don't know, Alex, if you have something to say about in the conversation or.
Yeah, well, for me, with music and diversity of music, I've always been pretty open to listening to new things, especially more as I've gotten older. But I think that's probably the reverse for a lot of people. I think when you're younger, you usually have more of an open mind, and you're like, yeah, I'll listen to anything. But you do have that kind of quick trigger finger to be like, no, I don't like it, skip. No, I don't like it, skip. So I've tried to be a bit more aware of that as I got older. And so now what I end up listening to is normally like indie rock
Nice.
or K-pop.
I haven't been a lot exposed to K-pop, but
Oh, you gotta.
my nieces, they love that stuff.
Yeah,
They
you
always
gotta.
tell me, "Oh, these guys are so cool," and I'm like, "Okay."
You do what you do.
Exactly.
So, like this last period, I fall in love with the music mashups. For example, I listened to a song that mixed the power of Kanye West with Red Lobster.
Okay.
And it's one of the coolest things I never heard in my life. I'm not afraid to say that. Like, for me now, music in this period, because like with all the quarantine and stuff, so like, even when you were in quarantine, you were just listening to the same old song, right? And after a bit, you just grew up a hate for them. Because you're like, every day same routine, same song. So I found out a new genre of music. I fall in love with the Japanese jazz, for example.
Yeah.
I like so. I mean, music is about all the mood you have in that moment, right? So like,
Totally.
if you're sad, you listen to sad music and stuff. Do you think there could be some type of music that could be good and relaxing in every mood that you have during a day? If there's like a
Totally.
genre of music.
Totally, and that's why I love this question, because if you see the name is Concertmood, because for me music, it depends the type of music that you listen to it on the mood that you are that day or how you are feeling. That's why I kind of played a little bit with the words, because I just wanted to make a brother to the music, but to be honest, like music mood was not sounding too cool, to honestly. So that's why I said concert mood sounds better, and as well, I love attending concerts. Of course, now with the quarantine and the lockdown, I haven't
We
been
can
able,
do
but
Zoom
I'm
concerts.
having my fingers crossed that this happens soon, so then I can like just let myself go. But elaborating more into your thought and question, from my point of view, it's definitely depending on the mood you are that day. So when I feel like when somebody makes me mad at work, I just turn up hard rock and heavy metal and powerful rock music, so I can just like let myself go and feel better about the angry or anger that I had that day. But if I just feel like kind of more chill and just like to be cool, I listen to other more calm style of music. So yeah, definitely. It's funny though, because sometimes people tells me like, "Oh, I feel that you are very happy today," and I'm like, "Why?" Because you are listening this music. Oh yeah, that's true. So it's definitely a reflection of my personality, of the type of music that I'm listening that day and the mood that I'm on that day. So I fully agree with you.
Oh, that's good. So I think we have to wrap it up. I'm sorry, we'll keep talking like for hours with you, Antonio. I'm loving this
Me too.
conversation. But the race is almost starting, and we have to do
No
our
problem.
fake job with fake racing. And so, could you tell us like a little spoiler for what about the next episode is going to be? Like, if you think like weeks before doing the episode, it's just like today I woke up like talking about I don't know I can't do tomorrow.
No, that's a very good. I always try to keep tracking of when an album is going to turn some milestone, like 35 years, 25, or stuff like that. But if I don't have it, like just for example, today I was just randomly listening to music, and probably I'm going to talk about Interpol, the New York band from the US.
Yeah,
because I
them.
really like one of the songs. Like I was listening a lot, Not Even Jail, so spoiler alert. I might probably do the podcast episode about Not Even Jail, because I feel it's a really powerful song. I really like the meaning of it. So yeah, it's very random. It's just like how I feel, but I always try to do it constant. So every weekend, you guys will have your Concertmood.com podcast for sure.
Nice. That's awesome.
That's cool. So it was a pleasure having you, Antonio. And I think if you wait like for another 10 minutes, we can have another anniversary of the longest waiting for a race in that video.
No, I really had a really good time, guys. I wish you the very best on the race, and I'm very happy to that my brand is sponsorship is your sponsor. So let's continue.
We are also
driving
very
and,
happy.
Cool.
That means a lot for us.
Yeah.
No, really, I really mean it. Keep rocking on the races, and we continue to be in touch. And if you guys want to have me another day, I'm very happy to be here.
Absolutely.
Oh, we can have you like every day if you want.
Yeah.
We don't
Nice.
have to pay a ticket plane to get you here. That's the cool stuff about the globalization, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
See, Antonio, it was a pleasure. Hoping for the next episode to be good like the last one. And
Thank you.
Keep it rocking, like you said to us.
Exactly. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Good
Antonio.
luck. Have a blast in the racing, and thank you for having me. Take care.